50 years ago, vehicle owners had to change their oil with the change of the seasons. They'd use a relatively high viscosity oil during the hot days of summer and replace it with a lower viscosity oil for winter. Today, most people use a single multi-grade gear oil with characteristics that make it appropriate in both hot and cold seasons, so it can be used year-round. What exactly is viscosity, and what's the advantage of multi-grade gear oil? One of the most important properties of oil in maintaining a lubricating film between moving parts is its viscosity. The easiest way to think about viscosity is that it's the thickness of the oil. The thicker an oil is, the higher its viscosity. The Society of Automotive Engineers established the numerical system for grading motor oils. That system is described in their SAE J306 standard. The higher the viscosity, the higher the grade number. These numbers are often referred to as the grade of the oil. So an 80 grade oil would be lower viscosity or thinner than a 90 grade oil. Why wouldn't you just want a very thick oil? Wouldn't that provide the best protection for the components? Well, higher viscosity oil would reduce the friction between moving parts, but won't necessarily reduce wear. As long as the viscosity is high enough to maintain an adequate oil film, the components should be adequately protected. But as you increase viscosity, you also increase churning loss. Churning loss consists of the power that's used to move the gears through the oil. The higher the viscosity, the more energy is required just to move the gears. That reduces the efficiency of the gear system and therefore the overall fuel efficiency of the vehicle. Churning loss is highest during the warm-up period, especially in cold environments. That's because oil viscosity increases as temperature decreases. The increased viscosity at lower temperatures creates the need for much higher torque. In these average axle torque values, the torque at minus 13 degrees Celsius is more than twice as high as at 10 degrees Celsius. That additional torque reduces the overall vehicle fuel efficiency. The longer an axle takes to warm up to operating temperature, the greater the reduction in fuel economy. The drive axle typically has the longest warm-up period because of its location in the vehicle. The transmission's proximity to the engine reduces its warm-up period, so the effects are less pronounced. The temperature of the oil also makes a big difference in how well the parts are lubricated. The lower the temperature, the longer it takes the lubricant to get to critical areas of the transmission and axle. For an 80W90 mineral oil, it takes nearly 20 minutes until the oil flows to the pinion bearing, the smallest gear and one of the most highly stressed components in an axle. With an 85W140 mineral oil, it takes over a half hour. Until the oil reaches the pinion, it's basically operating with no lubrication, and that can cause severe wear. Another characteristic of gear oils is their shear stability, a measure of how much of the oil's viscosity is lost when in use. When oil is squeezed under very high pressure between contact surfaces, the larger molecules are broken down into smaller molecules. This permanently reduces viscosity, decreasing film strength and increasing wear. Shear stability is indicated by a percentage. Lower percentages mean that an oil is more shear stable and will retain its viscosity better during operation. Most monograde oils simply can't do the job in modern vehicles. Compared to vehicles in the past, today's trucks operate in a wider range of temperatures, and the greater horsepower generated in today's engines creates higher axle oil temperatures. To provide adequate lubrication and minimize the energy loss through churning, vehicle owners increasingly use multi-grade gear oils, where viscosity changes with temperature are reduced compared to monogrades. How much the viscosity changes is referred to as the Viscosity Index, or VI. A lower VI oil will have a much larger change in viscosity than a higher VI oil. These multi-grade gear oils are designated by two numbers. The first is the low temperature viscosity, the second is the high temperature. But most people refer to them as the winter and summer viscosities. The higher the VI, the more stable the oil is, so the less its viscosity will change as the temperature changes. So, an SAE 75W90 gear oil has the properties of a 75 grade oil in the winter and a 90 grade oil in the summer. To optimize gearbox efficiency, you want an oil with low viscosity so the lubricant will flow more easily with less churning, but you also want an oil with high viscosity to provide adequate film thickness, even at high temperatures. Through improved additives and viscosity modifiers, Wide-span multi-grade gear oils are now available that offer the best of both worlds and create many benefits. Maintenance costs are reduced because there's no need to change oil to adjust to the seasons. The same oil can do the job year-round. These wide-span multi-grade gear oils also provide better fuel economy because they reduce churning loss. Additionally, wear on the gears, bearings, and seals is reduced because the oil flows more easily and quickly through the gear systems, providing better lubrication. In almost every vehicle application, wide-span multi-grade gear oils provide the best value and year-round vehicle protection.